So, last time we dove into the incredible forces of thermal expansion. We saw how pipes are basically living, moving things and why we have to build in flexibility, with loops and offsets to handle all that growth. But it turns out just having flexibility isn't the whole picture. Think about it like this. If you just push on a spring that's not held in place, what happens? Well, it just flops over, right? It doesn't actually compress and absorb any of that force. It's pretty useless. Flexibility without any control is, well, it's just chaos. So to make all that flexibility actually work for us, we've got to manage it. We have to steer the expansion. We need to tell the pipe exactly where it's allowed to go and where it's absolutely not. And this is where we bring in the real traffic controllers of the piping world: anchors, guides, and line stops. So in this explainer, we're going to start with why we even need to control pipe movement in the first place. Then we'll break down our three main tools: the anchor, which is our full stop restraint, the guide, which kind of directs the flow, and the line stop for some really specific directional control. And then we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary. All right, let's jump in. Section 1, controlling pipe movement. Before we get into the how, let's really nail down the why. Why can't we just let these pipes move around however they want? A lot of designers starting out think a support's only job is to hold up the weight of the pipe. And yeah, that's called gravity support, and it's absolutely essential. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today is about restraint, actively controlling the pipe to force that thermal energy into the expansion loops you so carefully designed. So why do we need to restrain the pipe at all? What's the big deal if it just slides around on the steel beams as it heats up and cools down? Well, there are two really big reasons. First off, we've got to prevent what's called buckling. When a long, skinny pipe expands, it's actually in a state of compression. It's just like taking a dry piece of spaghetti and pushing on both ends. You know what happens next, right? It bows out to the side. And in a packed pipe rack, that is a huge problem. A pipe that's buckling can easily fall off its support, or even worse, it could slam into a critical electrical tray or another pipe. This is exactly why we use restraints, to keep the pipe straight, stable, and totally predictable. So let's move on to our first and, I'd say, most powerful tool for controlling that movement: the anchor. An anchor is pretty much what it sounds like: a completely fixed, immovable point. We rigidly connect the pipe to the structure. In engineering speak, we say it locks all 6 degrees of freedom. What that means is no moving side to side, no up and down, no forward or back, and definitely no twisting or rotating. It is a complete and total stop. And we use these really powerful restraints in a couple of strategic ways. First, to protect our equipment, and second, to divide a big system into smaller, more manageable parts. First up, protecting equipment. Just imagine you have a long run of really hot pipe and it's connected to a sensitive pump nozzle. If we just let that pipe slide around, all that thermal growth, all that movement is going to get pushed straight into the pump. That could easily damage it or even shove it right off its foundation. But if we place an anchor right near that nozzle, we completely isolate the pump from all that system movement. The anchor takes the full brunt of that expansion force, so the pump doesn't have to. Now, the really crucial point here is that an anchor transfers massive forces into the structure, so you have to make sure it's placed on a beam or a foundation that's strong enough to take it. The second key use is dividing up the system. Let's say we have a straight 100-meter run of pipe. If it expands by, say, 20 centimeters, that entire 20 centimeters of movement is going to show up at the ends. That's a huge amount of growth to try and manage. And here's the really elegant solution. By placing just one anchor right in the middle of the run, we force the pipe to expand outwards from that central point. If you look at the slide, you can see we've literally cut the expansion at each end in half. We've taken one giant problem and very cleverly turned it into two much smaller, much more manageable ones. Now, an anchor is kind of a blunt instrument. It's just a full stop. But sometimes we need a little more finesse. And that's where our next tool comes in: the guide. So while an anchor acts like a stop sign, a guide is more like a train track. A guide lets the pipe slide freely forward and backward. That's axially. But it physically stops it from moving sideways. It basically channels all that movement in one straight line. And this right here shows you exactly why guides are so important for expansion loops. Remember that U-shaped loop we designed to add flexibility? Well, that only works if the pipe actually moves straight into it. If the pipe buckles sideways before it even gets to the loop, like you see here, then the loop is completely useless. So that's why standard engineering practice tells us to place guides at very specific spots leading into an expansion loop. These guides stop the pipe from buckling, and they force that thermal growth to go right down the track and into the loop. It ensures the energy gets absorbed exactly where we planned. Trust me, if you leave out the guides, your pipe is going to snake all over the rack. And finally, let's have a look at our third tool. This one is a bit more specialized. It's called a line stop, and it's all about directional control. A line stop, or an axial stop, does the opposite of a guide. It stops the pipe from moving forward or backward, but it lets it move side to side, or up and down. So why would you use it? To directionalize expansion. Imagine you have an L-shaped pipe, where one leg is 50 meters long and the other is only 10. The massive growth from that long leg is naturally going to try to push into the short leg, and that could easily overstress it. So by placing a line stop, we can block that path and force all that expansion to go the other way, towards an area where we've built in more flexibility to handle it. Okay, that was a lot. Let's bring it all together with a quick technical summary. So to recap, we have anchors. These are our fixed points that lock all movement, and we use them to protect nozzles and to split up long pipe runs. Then we have guides. They stop sideways movement but allow the pipe to slide forward and back. They're like train tracks to prevent buckling and make sure our expansion loops work. And finally, line stops, which we use to push expansion in a very specific direction, making sure all that growth goes exactly where we want it to. So now you know how to lock a pipe down, how to guide it, how to steer it, but we've kind of skipped over the most basic function of all, just holding the thing up against gravity. How far apart should supports actually be? Well, join us in the next explainer where we'll dive right into the philosophy of support spacing.